North Carolina Republicans are in huge danger of fumbling the bag. Mark Robinson, the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, is a Republican, and now he's running for an open governor's seat. He's running against the Democrat Attorney General Josh Stein. Okay, and North Carolina has been a fairly consistent red state since 2008, at least at the federal level. On the national level, things have been a little different. Roy Cooper has been the Democratic governor of North Carolina for a while now. And North Carolina Republicans have been annoyed that they haven't been able to capture the governor's mansion over this time period. And now, with Roy Cooper going away because he's term limited out, the North Carolina Republicans finally thought that, okay, now's the time we can take back the governor's mansion. And it looks like that's not going to happen. Let's look at the polls that have been coming out over the last couple weeks. Okay, Mark Robinson is losing to Josh Stein by about an average of 10 points. That should not be possible in a swing state like North Carolina, a state that was decided in 2020 by 1.5 percentage points for Donald Trump is going 10 points to the Democrat in the governor's race. This is a sign of a massively flawed candidate. And why is he a massively flawed candidate? Well, he's too racist for even the Republican Party. Okay, he has said terrible things about a whole host of people, about immigrants. He is as vile as J.D. Vance and Trump, but on steroids. He has said massively transphobic things. He calls them satanic, which is just such a terrible thing to say. It's so hateful. And he's gone off about how calling his political opponents pedophiles and all the rest. The divisiveness is unbelievable. He has also made terrible comments related to the Holocaust. He has gone off about how nationalism is righteous and a whole bunch of other terrible things. Okay, so he was already a flawed candidate. But today, a huge story dropped where they discovered his online footprint. CNN discovered his online footprint. And before I get into exactly what the footprint is, I want to talk about how the Republican Party initially responded. Okay, apparently there are rumors that Donald Trump, before the story got out, heard that this was happening. And the Donald Trump campaign actually called up Mark Robinson and told him to please drop out of the race. Robinson refused him. Robinson went on the attack. He said, all of this is lies. He said, none of this is true. They're targeting me. And obviously, he's lying. All of this is true. It is fairly well confirmed. When I say fairly well confirmed, it's as confirmed as you can get with trying to find the online footprint of somebody. All right, so let's get into the crazy stuff that he said. These posts happened between 2008 and 2012 on a porn forum website titled Nude Africa. All right, that's weird. If you're commenting on porn websites, you're a little bit of a weirdo, bro. And it's coming from a guy who claims to be oh so Christian and oh so high and mighty and oh so moral. But in these posts, he admits that when he was a 14-year-old boy to peeping on women in the shower and watching them while they showered, while they were naked, committing sexual assault, sexual harassment. That's what he was doing when he was a 14-year-old kid. Okay, now forget all that. Okay, the hatred coming out of his mouth and coming in through these posts is unbelievable. He makes the strange comment that, quote, I'm not in the KKK. They don't let blacks join. Okay. Then he goes off and he starts attacking Martin Luther King. He says, if I was in the KKK, I would have called him Martin Lucifer K-word. Okay. The hatred and the vitriol for one of the most precious civil rights leaders of the United States history is unfathomable. But his hatred for Barack Obama actually held no bounds at the time. In March of 2012, Robinson explicitly said that he would have preferred if Adolf Hitler led the country as opposed to Barack Obama. He said, I'd take Hitler over any of the shit that's in Washington right now. He is continually in these posts said derogatory remarks against black people, Jewish people, and Muslim people. He is a deeply hateful human being. And what this is showing me, and what should show all of you, is that the Republican Party is collapsing in on itself. Okay, this is stuff that the Republican Party should have known about this candidate. They should have already known all this about him, which tells me one or two things. Either they're totally incompetent, or two, they knew it, and they thought they could get away with it. Mark Robinson had gotten the endorsement of Donald Trump. He got the endorsement of Donald Trump back in the North Carolina governor primary. Donald Trump actually called him Martin Luther King and suggested that he was better than Martin Luther King. This man is not better than Martin Luther King. This man is the antithesis of Martin Luther King. This man represents Mark Robinson of North Carolina, represents everything Martin Luther King fought against and hated himself. Okay, so Donald Trump's full embrace of this man should tell you everything you need to know about Donald Trump going into this election. They're going to do all they can to try to separate themselves from this guy, and they're going to say, "Oh, it's taken out of context," and "Oh, I don't agree with anything he said." Well, they agreed with him up until the point where they got caught with this guy. They knew that they knew the stuff that he was saying about Hitler. A lot of this isn't breaking news. We know that he has made posts saying that Hitler wasn't that bad of a guy and all the rest, or suggesting that the Holocaust didn't happen and placating in Holocaust denial. We know that this has been going on, but it's only because now the story has blown up that Republicans are scared that now they have to defend a racist vitriol near the top of the North Carolina ticket. And why are they so scared? Because Donald Trump stands zero chance of winning the presidency if he can't win North Carolina. Donald Trump's best chance of winning the presidency runs through Georgia, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. If he wins all those three, that's it. He becomes president again. If he loses North Carolina, the path becomes almost impossible for Donald Trump to become president. Almost impossible. So with that, Donald Trump is going to do everything he can to separate himself from Robinson. And to be frank, the media and all of us can't let him separate himself. He has tied to this guy. He's endorsed this guy. He's ran ads with and for this guy. He is this guy. This is his guy. All right. So North Carolina Republicans are in deep danger, and I can only hope that Robinson gets nowhere near the governor's mansion come the fall.
So we have a Patreon, and since you made it to the end of the episode, that means that maybe you are somewhat interested in the content we make, which, let me say, that's awesome.
That's so cool that you think that we have good takes enough for you to watch our stuff. That means a lot.
Thank you so much. You're probably wrong, but we'll take it. If you want to support the show, and we post exclusive content on there, so if you want to see more of that, see us go deeper onto a few other topics, maybe some of the stuff we post on there is stuff that we think the normies on YouTube might be a little bit less interested in, but the nerds that want to go to Patreon are more interested in. Feel free to check it out. There's going to be a link in the video description. There's a link in the channel description as well.
Perfect.
We would super appreciate it.
Love you guys.